It's not a hard and fast rule that you absolutely have to have rental history and you absolutely have to have it for a certain period of time. But what is absolute, and I can promise you, is the stronger your file is, the less likely that you're going to need this. By the end of this video, you're going to have an idea of what it takes to qualify for an FHA loan. This is your one-stop shop for anything and everything mortgage education. I post new videos every Tuesday and Saturday. My name is Stephanie Weeks. I've got 17 years of experience as being a loan officer. I also wrote the international bestseller Mortgage Peace, and I've also been recognized in the Scotsman Guide for Top Originators. If you're here, it's because you're interested in anything or everything mortgage education, and that is my passion, and that's what this channel is all about. If you plan to apply for an FHA mortgage, I want you to be approved. In today's video, I am going to tell you all of the scoop about FHA mortgages, how to get approved, some of the things you need to be qualified. You want to know this information because I would hate to see your loan be denied with something that could have been simple fix. I am going to dive in right now. As always, I've got all the scoop for you today. 6. That's the number for today. I'm breaking this into 6 sections about FHA loans. The first thing we're going to talk about is credit score requirements. Then we're going to jump into debt to income. We're going to talk about how important your bank statements are. Number 4, we're going to dive into the money that you need. Do you need your own money? Can you get money from a family member? What does that look like? We're going to talk about that as well. Number 5, we're going to get into rental history. Is it required? Does it matter? You're going to find out. Last but not least is number 6, does your credit matter? And I'm not talking about the credit score requirements I mentioned in number 1. It's different. How does your credit matter? Does your credit matter? Let's get started. The first thing is credit score requirements. You have to know that most of these programs do set a standard for the minimum credit score that they require. But then the lenders who are choosing to give you the loan and possibly service the loan, they also can set their own requirements. The credit score requirements can change lender to lender. So you need to see what each lender requires because it doesn't always match. For the most part, you need at least a 580. That's what I find most lenders want. Many lenders really want you to have a 640, maybe a 620. If you're looking for FHA and you're above 640, it's going to be a lot more smooth sailing for you than if you were below 640. Even though some lenders allow a 580, you have a lot more hoops to jump through than if you had over 600. And if you are 580 to 619, you're going to have a lot more hoops to jump through than if you're at a 620. And if you have between a 580 and a 639, you're going to have more hoops to jump through than if you have a 640. Are you seeing a pattern here? Yes, I'm sure that you are. There's reasons for that. The lower your credit score, the higher your risk. So the more they're going to want to verify, the more they're going to require, and the more stringent requirements they're going to require of you. To sum it up, generally speaking, if you can have a 640 or better, you should be pretty good as far as passing step 1 and trying to qualify for an FHA loan. Number 2, debt to income requirements. They can also vary lender to lender, just like the credit score requirements. Generally speaking, if you have a housing ratio, which is the percent of your house note in relation to your monthly income, if you have a housing ratio between 28 and 33%, it is beautiful. It's like rainbows and butterflies, okay? If you have an overall debt ratio of below 43%, again, rainbows and butterflies. Not everybody lives in the rainbows and butterflies realm. There are some exceptions to these things. I've actually seen FHA approved debt ratios up to about 56%. And I've seen them allow a housing ratio, I've seen over 45%. So you see that difference in what they would love you to have and what sometimes they will accept. So there's that variance there. What's gonna make that difference? Remember, we talked about those lower credit scores having more requirements. Well, you're gonna have to meet the lower ratios, while someone with excellent credit might be able to pass with the higher ratios. Things like great job time, maybe if you have a high housing ratio, but not a lot of other debt, so your overall ratio is low, that helps you get a higher pass on a higher housing ratio. Maybe you've got lots of savings in the bank for a rainy day. That's usually great and helpful to pass for or with a higher ratio. Different things like that. Higher credit scores are really going to help. Generally speaking, you're going to have a housing ratio in the 30% range and a debt to income ratio in the 43 to 45% range, but there are those exceptions. So what's the underlying thing here? What's the tip? The better credit you have, the better job history, the more savings you have in the bank, you're going to get a little more leniency on those lower credit scores. So try to make your file as strong as you can from all those different aspects. Number 3, how important are your bank statements? They are crucial. They are very crucial. What they're looking for with an FHA loan is, do you have enough money to close? Yes or no? How much money is left after you spend that money for closing for a rainy day? Because the more you have, the stronger your file is. Are you responsible with your money? Do you make $5,000 or $6,000 a month that gets deposited, but your average balance is like $100? Well, that means you're spending all your money. We're also going to look at things like your ending balance. Maybe you had $6,000 in deposits go in, but in that ending balance, you're only down to that $100 or maybe $500. That's going to make a difference as well. They're looking for responsibility. They're looking to make sure that you don't have overdraft, that you don't have NSF. The bank statements, how important are they? They are absolutely crucial because you can hit every single piece of our puzzle to get you approved. But if you don't have enough money for closing and or the required reserves, which will depend on your file, the cleaner the credit, the cleaner the file, the less reserves you need. Reserves is the amount of money left in the bank after the money comes out for closing. Bank statements, crucial. Be responsible, don't spend all your money, don't have overdraft, don't have NSF, and try to have a little money left in the bank after you have the money for closing, because that's also going to set you up for success in getting that FHA loan approved. Number 4 is, do you need your own money or can a family member help? Actually, either or a combination of both is acceptable. Well, let me retract that, because when you have lower credit scores, sometimes a gift is not allowed. A gift is a donation or gift from a family member to help you with down payment, closing cost, prepaid items, reserves, or a combination of those things. FHA does allow for you to have all of your own money to meet all those things. They do allow you to have all of that coming to you in a gift and none of your own money if you have the acceptable credit scores for that situation. They allow some of it being your money and some of it being a gift, to where a combination of both is also acceptable. So yes, you can have a gift with an FHA loan. You don't have to have all the money yourself, but I'm going to loop back again and remind you, don't forget about the other pieces and parts of your file. You want to have the strongest file in all of these aspects to set yourself up for success, which is that approval and that smooth and on-time closing. Number 5, rent. Does it matter? Is it required? Do you have to have a history? Does it have to be a month, 6 months, 12 months? What does that look like? This is an interesting topic when it comes to FHA approvals. One of the things that we run into a lot is that people do pay rent, but they pay it in cash and it's not traceable. So it basically doesn't count. Now, you don't always need rental history for FHA. It's case specific. So remember, the stronger your file in those other areas we spoke about, the more likely that you're not going to need to have verified rental history. Some people never rent, and sometimes that's totally fine. Some people rent and only for 6 months, and they pay on time and it's traceable, and sometimes that's totally fine. Sometimes people rent and for 12 months, and it's traceable. And sometimes that's totally fine, and that much is required depending upon the overall file. And sometimes people rent and they pay cash and it's not traceable, so it doesn't count, and that's still fine. It's not a hard and fast rule that you absolutely have to have rental history and you absolutely have to have it for a certain period of time. But what is absolute, and I can promise you, is the stronger your file is, the less likely that you're going to need this. And I can also promise you that if you're paying that rent in cash and it's not traceable and you need rental history, that could cause you your loan denial. What I've done to get around this in the past, which it's so few and far between, let's say that you pay cash, but you pay $500 cash, and every single month on the first of the month, you go take out $500. So it is blatantly obvious. It does not mean that you took out $550 one month because you kept $50. It doesn't mean you took out $475 one month because you had $25 on you. It meant that if you're paying cash and it can clearly and easily be shown that consistency, that amount is pulled out every single month, that's how sometimes we've been able to get around the fact that cash is used. That rarely works because most people don't do that. But again, the stronger your file is in the other aspects, you might not even have to worry about that at all. Let's dive into number 6. Does your credit matter? Number 6, as promised, does your credit matter? It absolutely does. You're probably realizing by now that each file is different. They're all like a snowflake. No two are the same. And the stronger you can be in some areas, the weaker you're allowed to be in others. Your credit matters because, number 1, the score matters. You can't even get to steps 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 if you don't meet the lender's minimum required score as mentioned. So that's one main reason why absolutely your credit matters. But it's not just the score. Do you have outstanding collections? Do you have outstanding judgments? Do you have collections recently? How much? Do you have accounts that are disputed on your credit report? Do you have trade line history? A trade line is an account, basically. How long have you had accounts? How positive have those accounts been? Do you have revolving accounts? How responsible are you with those revolving accounts? What has your pay history been on all of your accounts? Have you ever been late? When have you been late? How late were you late? And even beyond all of that, we're even looking, because the credit report sometimes will show employment history. And remember, we're auditing everything. It shows address histories. We're cross-referencing addresses on there. We're looking at your social security number and any variations listed on there. We're looking at your name and any variations listed on there, and identifying, auditing, and just analyzing all of this. Do you have acceptable credit, and do you have the capacity to repay? And the way that we figure that out is by analyzing all of the things that we've discussed in today's video and then some. So if you want to know the qualifications to approve for an FHA loan, make sure you're reviewing this video. Make sure you download the FHA checklist/cheat sheet that I'm going to give to you. That way you set yourself up for success. I'm so excited for you. I cannot wait. Hopefully I will get a DM from you that says loan approved, and know that this information helped you in some way to be better prepared for home ownership and getting approved for that FHA loan. Thank you as always, and I will see you in the next one. Please don't forget to subscribe and share the video with your family and friends. Have a great one. Do you feel better equipped to approve for an FHA loan? Because if you do, please type me in all caps a big old win in the comments, WIN. I love engaging with all of you. I love hearing your feedback, and I hope to see a lot of wins. As always, I'd love to have a free download for all of you. Today's going to be FHA Loans Cheat Sheet. I'm going to drop a link in the bio below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. Please share it with your friends. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm gonna drop some other video links for you guys and gals here. And I'd love to connect with you on social media. My Insta is _the real Stephanie Weeks. Website is stephanieweeks.com. I'll see you there.